Hello. In this video, we're going to go through learning target 133, which is to be able to write the linear equation that's perpendicular or parallel through a given point when you're only given a graph. So this is really similar to learning target 123. So if you have not watched that video, you should watch that one first. But when we are writing parallel and perpendicular lines, it says to write an equation, so I know that my answer is supposed to be y equals mx plus b. And if I need to write y equals mx plus b, then I need to find m and I need to find b. Now, depending on what information you're given, finding m and finding b can be different. In this case, we're given this graph, and we're also given this information that we know that our line is parallel to this graph, and it goes through this point. So the first thing that I should do is I should find the slope of this graph, because I know that my slope is parallel to that. So finding this slope is essential. So you can pick any 2 points on corners. I'm going to pick these two. And you're going to count your rise, which is down 2, and run, which is positive 3. So our slope over here is negative 2/3. So then I know that parallel slopes are the same. So parallel means same slope. So my equation is also going to have a slope of negative 2/3. So now I found my m, and I need to find my b. To find b, you have two choices. You can either plug your points into y equals mx plus b with your slope, and then that'll help you find b. Or you can plug everything into point slope form and find your equation that way. I'm going to do point slope form for this first one, and then I'll do y equals mx plus b for the second one, so you can see both methods. So for point slope form, this is our formula. And I'm going to plug in my x, my y, and my m. So my y goes here. You should have two negative signs, one from the equation and one from the 6. So now I have this plugged into point slope form, and the reason that I like point slope form is because once you simplify this, you have your answer. You don't have to plug m and b back in. You're just done. So I'm going to simplify by turning this into a plus sign. So y plus 6. And then distribute. You can do your fractions in a calculator, so you can type in negative 2/3 times negative 6. Or if you want to multiply by hand, multiply the top part. So negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 12. And then go back and divide. So we get positive 4. And then we just got to subtract 6 from both sides, and we get our answer for the equation that is parallel to this graph and goes through this point. So this is our answer. You can go ahead and pause it if you need to catch up and write anything else down. I'm going to move to the second problem. So the second one is talking about the same graph, but this one says write an equation that's perpendicular to this graph, and it goes through this point instead. So this graph, I know my slope was negative 2/3. If my equation is perpendicular, that means I need the opposite reciprocal to this. So my slope for this equation is going to be 3/2. And then I want to ignore this slope. Once I start plugging things in, I want to use this one because it's the perpendicular slope. And then I'm going to plug in my x and my y and my m into y equals mx plus b. So my y value is 7, my m is 3/2, my x is 4. I can multiply these two to get 6 and subtract to get that my b value is 1. So using this method, you get your m and your b separately, and then you have to plug them in yourself. So I have to go ahead and plug them into y equals mx plus b to get this equation. And this is my equation perpendicular to the graph and through the point. So why don't you go ahead and pause it and try this problem on the bottom. And then when you unpause it, I will have the answer on the screen. And there you go. I have all my work on here. The only thing that I want to point out is that when you are finding a perpendicular slope to just 1 over 1 is the same when you flip it. The only thing that changes is the sign. So our original slope was positive, so mine needs to be a -1. And then you can go ahead and plug it in to get your answer of y equals -x minus 1.